Hi, Year 5. This is lesson 2, week beginning the 18th of May. So we're going to be looking at, the same skill as we were looking at last lesson. Models from my reading are used or integrated into my writing. Okay. As we go on this week, I'll be explaining more and more what that actually means. The next lesson is to read the same chapter that you chose to read last lesson. So read in the same chapter, but this time I want you to make note of the vocabulary and the language that you can see. Okay, so for example, on a piece of paper or in your workbook that you took home, okay, before we left school and this lockdown began, what I want you to do is I want you to write down some subtitles on a page, on a piece of paper, okay, on a page in your book. Write down verbs, adverbs, adjectives, fronted adverbials, sentence starters, expanded noun phrases, all of these things that you know that we look for. Remember your Magpie books we used to use in class. Remember all the different ways that those books were divided up into verbs and adjectives. And what I want you to do is try and find language features in this chapter that you've chosen, the same one as last lesson. So write down verbs. As you read the chapter, underneath the subtitle verbs, write down all the exciting wow verbs that you find in that chapter. Write down the subtitle adjectives, and again, note all the exciting wow adjectives that you notice in that chapter under the subtitle adjectives. Then write the subtitle adverbs. Write down all the exciting adverbs you see. Do the same for fronted adverbials. Okay, do the same for expanded noun phrases. Do the same for stylistic devices which include similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration. Okay, so note all the successful language that you can see in this chapter. Okay, for example, when we were reading the Roman quests, we noted a number of new words that we hadn't read before. One of them was the word tawny. And we discovered that the word tawny means like an orangey colour. Okay, and that it described the colour of Juba's mum's hair, that she had tawny colour hair. And that was a word that you then used in your own story writing. Lots of you put the word tawny into your writing. That's what this skill is all about, okay? It's about models from my reading are used or integrated into my writing. It's about making a note of the successful language or vocabulary or adjectives or anything, okay? Any language features that you notice that a writer has used in their writing, and incorporating that, putting that into your own story writing to improve your writing, okay? So you're drawing from what you've read in other books. You're drawing from the language that authors have used in your own story writing, okay, to improve the quality of your writing. So that's really the focus of this week. So your task is to read that chapter and make a note of verbs, adjectives, adverbs, fronted adverbials, expanded noun phrases, any similes, metaphors, personification, any other language features that you notice, okay, that I have not listed. The kind of things you would have found in the Magpie book and written down in class, if you remember. We used to do that. So this is like a Magpie book lesson, if you like. Stealing successful language from this chapter that you've chosen, writing it down on a piece of paper that you will keep, okay, and use in your own story writing towards the end of the week, okay, to practice using vocabulary that you have found in story in your own writing, okay? All right, when you've written them down, okay, the next task is, when you've written them, is to choose some of these words and practice putting them into your own sentences, okay, to make your own exciting sentences using this exciting language that you have discovered and found in this chapter that you've chosen, okay? If you're not sure what an adjective is, what an adverb is, what a verb is, remember, in the back of your journal, you have, okay, descriptions of all of these, okay? You have a grammar page in there, all right? And on that page, you've got definitions for verb, adverb, adjective. An expanded noun phrase is just a noun, like a name, like a dog, let's say, the dog. That's been expanded. So instead of the dog, we have the black dog. That's an expanded noun. Then we can extend it. It could be the black fluffy dog. Then we can extend it further, and some expanded nouns actually add prepositional phrases to them which tell us where this thing is. So, the black fluffy dog lying under the park bench. Okay, that's an expanded noun. So, can you find expanded nouns? Can you find fronted adverbials? These are adverbs that are put at the start of a sentence. That's why they're called fronted adverbials. So, a fronted adverbial tells us how, where, or when something is happening. So it could be in the corner of a field, comma, and then carrying on your sentence. It could be excitedly, comma, and then carrying on your sentence. It could be as quick as a flash, which is a simile. But also, in this instance, a fronted adverbial if it's put at the start of a sentence. Why? Because it's telling us how something's happening. As quick as a flash, comma, da-da-da-da-da. The cheetah ran after its prey, for example. Okay, so, remember, make note of different sentence starters other than fronted adverbials. Does the writer start with a verb in some sentences? Does the writer start with, drama or speech? What happens at the start of sentences? How does the writer make it exciting? And make note of these language features. What new words, maybe just new vocab? Just words that you didn't know before. New nouns. Write nouns down as well. Okay? Include some nouns that you didn't know. All right? And look them up in a dictionary, find out what they mean, and then use them in your own story writing. So, this lesson, make note of all the language features you see under subtitles. Okay? So I'm looking for verbs, adverbs, nouns, adjectives, fronted adverbials, expanded noun phrases, similes, metaphors, and other language features you might find. Then take some of these exciting words, this vocabulary that you found in this chapter, and put it into sentences. Okay, successful, exciting sentences. Then again, check through your work. Use the back of your journals if you're not sure what a verb is, or you've forgotten what a noun is. It's in the back of your journal. There is a page there, a double page, with definitions of all these. Okay, all right, enjoy. And I'll see you next lesson.